Welcome to another Bitcoin update. So in this video, I just want to go over the waves that I've seen produced here. It's exactly in line with what I had predicted earlier in previous video updates. And what we're seeing here, or what we did see recently, was a retest of the 2-4 trend line. And quite clearly, it rejected that level, that trend line. So let's just go back to the 4-hour where we can see where those points are connected. So from the end of B wave, we had our wave 1, 2, 1, 2. So the 2 starts down here. Sorry, the 2-4 trend line starts down here and goes past touching 4 right there at the end of wave 4. And then that's what we had here. Okay, so that's a significant, meaningful trend line, not just drawn haphazardly, and also not drawn in a way that is kind of like having all the price action, basically on top of the trend line. In my opinion, that's not really how it works. And you can see quite clearly that there is a reaction to do with this trend line. And I've got previous examples of this. One is in the Dow Jones. This trend line is important. So just going back to the hourly chart, and you can quite clearly see that it's reacting with this trend line. It came back. Sorry, when it fell, it came down to roughly around that area, and then it bounced in wave A, and then back down through that trend line in B, retest in C, move a bit lower in D, and then created the E wave. Right now, the E wave is the last move in this correction. So I would expect prices to now go lower and fall beneath the previous low, which confirms the end of wave 2. If this is the end of wave 2, right? So, for example, if this is a zigzag, like let's just play devil's advocate here, because I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom on Bitcoin. It's just the patterns that I see that are the most important in my perspective. So, for example, you have this move down in wave 1. Okay, now if that's a wave A, and this is going to be some kind of zigzag, then we look for a price to sort of go back down here and touch this level, this trend line here, right? So what is that trend line exactly? So it's nothing really major. It's just the end of wave 3 and the end of wave 4 of wave 3. Okay, I just put in this support area there, and this is I did this before all of this happened, so that's been there for a little while now. So it fits in line with that. It's an area of quite a bit of support there. So if we break through that, and this wave becomes longer than wave 1 and sharper to some extent, this is also a midpoint of a channel area. So if we break the midpoint of the channel and continue lower, then obviously it's going to be pretty obvious that this thing is it's going to go lower. It's not going to be a zigzag, right? So that's sort of how you can tell whether or not it's going to be just just a minor pullback in the grand scheme of things. But as you know, that's not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a move to go down at least to the levels where this whole thing started early last year, right? But I don't want to get into that yet. We need to see more evidence first for me to get into that. However, as you know, the waves have played out exactly the way I've said they would. And also, it's interesting to note that this seems to be lining up very closely with what the Dow Jones is doing, in my opinion. The Dow Jones is also getting ready to go lower, much lower, probably erasing all the gains from the past year, right? And probably a little bit more than that. So Is this any different for Bitcoin? Well, no. And I don't want to get into that here. You can have a look at my previous ideas if you can find where I talk about where I think it's going to go. But, it's not very popular. So I'd rather just stick to this conversation here right now. Just for those of you who, are invested and, you just need a bit of information or something. If it goes down to this area and then bounces higher impulsively, okay, so maybe we're looking at a bit of a longer term correction, before it moves higher. Okay, so playing devil's advocate here. Um, yeah, so that's basically it. So yeah, that for now, let's just wait and see what happens this coming week, because I do believe there's going to be some significant moves in the market this week. So therefore, I mean, it's to me, it's not a coincidence that this is all lining up at the same time. All the all the stars are aligning, and something's going to happen. Okay, there's going to be a reaction. There's always a reaction. There's a move, and then there's an equal and opposite reaction. So that's just how I see it. Hopefully, you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.